Okay, Facebook Live. Welcome once again to another exciting episode of your Saturday online program. Let's start with that.
Tonto DK, Monalisa Tinga, Nii Divya, Angela Okoria, Lex Ekubo, Ipinapon Febrisima, Regina Askia, and many other celebrities and chefs will compete against each other in the first ever celebrity cooking competition, Soup or Stars. Join us at the biggest street party and trade fair with the best of DJs, comedians, and vendors. Come, taste the glory of Africa in her rich array of traditional food varieties and island cultures. Be our guest as your finest celebrities present you brunch on Soup Stars. Friday, 6th of December at Grand Atrium on Lekki AP Expressway, 12 noon prompt. Tickets available at cocobar.com. For inquiries, call Green at 0805-752-1573 or email souporstarsmail@gmail.com. Superstars, SOUPASTARS, mail@gmail.com. See you there.
All right. Okay, so it wanted to go before me, and that's all good. Okay, you're all welcome to another exciting episode of Saturday Online Program. Okay, today we were going to showcase King Tonto DK versus Tim Rivers, Ibinabo Fibrisima, but unfortunately people are all over the world and I was not able to get them together in one spot. So we are going to talk in depth with Dr. Omar Bey and also one of our chefs, a young entrepreneur chefs from Akwa Ibom, will try to join us in the program. So we will continue as we can. I'm not looking for the chef yet. I'm trying to connect Dr. Omar Bey. All right. So send him an invitation, please. Okay. Welcome once again to your Saturday online program. So our focus these past weeks have been on good nutrition, healthy nutrition, and foods you can eat to keep your body healthy. So that has been our focus for this week. All right. And to put our money where our mouth is, we have been talking about foods that you can choose to eat to keep yourself healthy. We've been talking about how to cook your foods to keep yourself healthy. We have interviewed quite a number of doctors, quite a number of chefs, and quite a number of celebrities who have told us that the most important thing, that the silver bullet to staying healthy is good nutrition. So rather than just talk about it, we have decided to take it to the community and teach people about it. Okay, this program is supported by African Views with Campaign for Nurse Excellence in Nigeria, as well as a few. Yes, Dr. Bey. We have Dr. Bey online. Good morning, Dr. Bey. How are you doing? Welcome to Saturday Online Program.
I'm trying to connect.
Okay, so we send you an invitation. Please send the invitation again.
I don't know where it is. And where am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to be on my Facebook page and connect to her?
All right, Dr. Bey, we are live. We are live. We're going to come back to you in a minute, okay? Hold on. Okay. Let's continue the voice interview. Hello, okay. Dr. Bey?
Yeah.
We're going to come back to you in a minute, okay?
Okay.
All right. So please send Dr. Bey another invitation and then connect him on screen. If we cannot connect him on screen, we will get his voice interview again, okay? So like I was saying, your Saturday online program is a community outreach program that focuses on the peculiar health conditions that are found mostly in the African diaspora communities. And we teach people how to manage their long-term illnesses, how to manage their chronic illnesses. We listen to your symptoms and we advise you on how to stay on top of the healthcare plan that your doctor sent, and signs and symptoms to report to your doctor to make sure that this program is working for you. Okay, Dr. Bey is a renowned pulmonologist. Please get me the doctor. Dr. Bey is a renowned pulmonologist, and he is also a health and nutrition expert. Okay, he is not a nutritionist, but he's a health care and nutrition expert, and he's going to talk to us about weight loss. Okay? So, Dr. Bey, can I welcome you to the program?
Yeah, you can, but I don't know.
It's a voice interview, so we are using your voice on the phone.
Okay, all right.
So please put on your headphones. So please put on your headphones so that we can save the audio.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
You are very welcome to Saturday Online Program. So please, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, definitely. All right. Basically, I'm a pulmonologist and a critical care specialist that has a subspecialty in nutrition, actually. And that subspecialty came about because when I was practicing in my younger years, I still practice, but when I was practicing in my younger years, we had patients in the ICU that really weren't fed appropriately. And that time I talked to my mentor, and I went to the University of Pennsylvania and did nutrition. And from there it all began. And that's where I started, and training that nutrition, I figured I was trained in how to feed people via IV or via fluids, and also I was trained in how to help people lose weight as well. And it was very important because after that, in my practice, I noticed that many of people of color were overweight, and there was something in pulmonary. It's called obstructive sleep apnea.
Yes.
And if you lose weight, actually, that can correct. And obstructive sleep apnea is something that that can be devastating to us if we let it go unattended to.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's where I started as far as the weight loss, helping these people lose weight.
Okay, let's jump in there. Obstructive sleep apnea. This is when your palate or your uvula falls back to the back of your neck and causes obstruction, and then most of these people snore. Does it mean that the first indication of obstructive sleep apnea is snoring?
Yeah, let me explain for something. Most obstructive sleep apnea patients do snore, but what obstructive sleep apnea is it's the soft palate. We have a soft palate in the back of our throat,
yes.
And when you fall asleep, that soft palate covers over the airway, yes. And you actually stop breathing, and the oxygen in your lungs, it decreases dramatically. Yes. And if that happens over a long period of time, it hurts your heart. It creates something called pulmonary hypertension or high blood pressure in the lung system. And that, believe it or not, makes you very short of breath. Okay. So in losing weight, what you do is you open up your airways more, and you stop this syndrome of stop breathing while you're sleeping. And basically that's what obstructive sleep apnea is.
Okay, but there are people who are skinny but still snore, and their palates still fall to the back of their...
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. But that's a small percentage. I'd say 92% of the patients that have obstructive sleep apnea, they either have a small amount has central sleep apnea, which is from their brain. Others have apnea that it just may be hereditary. I just saw a young man in my office, and actually he's from Nigeria.
Oh, wow, okay.
In my office just last week that has obstructive sleep apnea, and it's hereditary. Okay. His grandfather had it, his father had it, and now he has it. But most patients are overweight and obese because of it, because when you gain weight, you don't gain weight only outwardly. You gain weight as well
on the inside.
Your airway gets narrow too, okay. And then that can happen at night.
All right, so now let's talk about being overweight. Okay, somebody like me, if you follow BMI rules, I am considered overweight. But people back home tell me that I'm too skinny, that I'm not looking good, that I'm too skinny, I'm losing too much weight. So does this BMI apply, this BMI formula, does it apply to Africans, African Americans, Americans,
right.
People of all cultures?
I deal with this all the time.
Okay.
And you know, we being from Africa or being from the United States, our body types are our body types. Yes. Alrighty, we are who we are. when that initial study for the body mass index was done, it was done by Westinghouse many, many years ago. Guess what? We were not in the study.
Oh,
Our
yes.
culture was not in the study. So that is a European evaluation of what weight should be.
Yes.
Now, understand, we have a different body type. We have a different muscle. We carry, as a people, we carry more muscle.
Yes.
Muscle is heavier than fat.
Yes.
Understand? So when I evaluate a patient for their body mass index or their body mass index, and they're a person of color, I have to add a few pounds onto that. Usually I add maybe 10 to 15 pounds onto that person to get them within a range of normal from my perspective. Now, if you go through the literature of medicine, obviously they're using the Westinghouse, evaluation that had happened many, many years ago, but we as a people were not in the study.
So that means that if I'm considering my BMI, I would do well to add a few more pounds to calculating my BMI. So that will require that I lose much more weight that I have lost right now.
Right.
Oh no, that's
you're
going
right.
to be a problem.
But understand, let's not take that to another. Let's take that to another side, though.
Yes.
We as a people do carry too much weight. Now that is true, because understand. Listen, if I always look at it this way. Let's buy a new car, okay?
Yes.
If we buy a new car, and we get in that new Cadillac or a new Mercedes, and we put our foot on the gas and run it 100 miles an hour down the road, that car is going to break down. Well, guess what? If you have a body frame that maybe needs 150 pounds,
yeah,
and you're carrying 275 pounds or 300 pounds, guess what's going to happen? We're the same way. We're going to break down. Your knees are going to start going. Every cell, every organ in your body is working twice as hard than it. To understand, we're not made of stone. We're not steel.
Yeah.
We are living and breathing cells, and injury is real. And once injury occurs, and most of the time we cannot reverse that. So the whole thing is, we must understand, even though we can add a few more pounds on that ideal body weight,
mm-hmm,
we can't say that, hey, listen, I'm 200 pounds, I'm 225 pounds, and I'm normal. No, that is not normal. It is not normal. And I know in my culture, from the African American culture, they're always talking about they're big boned. Yeah, I'm big boned. I don't want to be too thin. I'm big boned. You know the deal.
yes,
But that you have to be careful and cautious as to your body mass index and how much weight. And I truly feel that you understand that being overweight or obese leads to hypertension, diabetes,
yes,
heart disease, colon cancer. There are so many diseases that can be corrected or dealt with from an easier perspective if your weight is under control.
In a little bit, we're going to go to that. But I'd like to invite our viewers, if there's anybody that wants to join this discussion, you can bring them on screen. And also, if my chefs are available, you can add them on screen. But then again, Doctor, as we talk about weight management, let's talk about weight management and food. And let's put it in the context and culture of the African American and the Africans. Because what we're noticing right now is an uptick in diseases like high blood pressure, which for most Africans are hereditary also. Diseases like the long-term effects of high blood pressure, which include strokes, kidney damage. A lot of people are on dialysis or have to be on dialysis to be able to stay alive. But then Africa has the biggest array of natural, unmodified, genetically unmodified foods. What is going on? What is happening to Africans that so many of them are falling sick to these lifestyle choice diseases? Can we talk a little bit about diet and weight control?
Okay, alrighty. That's very important, because I feel that the African continent is finally catching up with the Western world.
Yes.
You know, this has been happening to us in the United States for so long. And you understand, it's okay. It's what you eat and the ability to burn those calories.
Can we hear him?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over years and years, and You add a pound or two this year and 3 pounds next year, and the next thing you turn around in 10 years, you're really overweight. The problem is that our food is changing, and how we prepare our food is changing. And now you have the fast food restaurants, and you have different things that you may not have had before. You have jobs that are coming into the inner city, and now instead of, we're eating the same calorie mix that we used to eat when we were on the farms, or we were out in the, doing physical work, but now we're sitting at a computer. You understand, the culture is changing, and I think the African countries are coming more westernized, and they're having the same effect that we have here in America, just because things are changing. Now, I understand that, and these are some of the reasons that I wrote my book, which is Eat One Half, Make Weight Loss Easy. I've been helping people lose weight for about 30 years. And over the 30 years, I realized that, and I don't have much experience with, the Nigerian culture, but I can liken it to the African American culture
soul
food. So you understand, I looked at this, and we're a difficult people because, number one, our culture, as you stated, you don't want to look too thin. You don't, and that, that's just who we are. But if we really step back, we have to realize that we have to change this a little bit, because the world is changing, and how food and how calories affect you, and all of that is changing. So we have to change as well. So what I'm talking about is that when I put my weight loss system together, I thought about us as a people and how this could really help us. And I made it simple. It has to be easy. And there are 3 things that I realized that we have to have, mandatory have to be successful with appropriate nutrition and weight loss and getting it under control. Number one, you have to commit to the weight loss program. Commit to it. And it's just like smoking cigarettes. If you don't commit to smoking cigarettes, you won't quit. Same thing with eating, because eating to us, it's a pleasure. We're asking, really enjoy to cut back on. We're asking, and a lot of times eating is a pacifier. If you're a little depressed, if something happened, and we use eating for a celebration. So we go out and we use eating is something. So now you're telling that person, guess what? You can't do that anymore. You can't enjoy it. So the way I put it together is, number one, commit. Number two, never say you can't, meaning that never say you can't eat this, you can't eat that. It's all about portions and choices.
Okay.
Portions and choices.
Portion
and the third
control.
thing is understand that it's a lifelong change. It's a true lifelong change. And there has to be modification, because each of us have our own metabolic rate. What do I mean by metabolic rate? That's how fast your body, your particular body, burns calories. Alrighty? So if your body burns calories quickly, then guess what? I can eat 3 meals a day and stay thin. Mm-hmm. But if I'm that person that eats 1 meal a day and I store 50% of it as fat, then guess what? I have a problem. So the weight loss system cannot be a cookbook system. It has to be one that you can integrate into your lifestyle, and it can become a part of your lifestyle without feeling punished that you can't eat this and can't eat that. Because if it comes down to I can't, then you're at a loss right there. It's not going to last.
Okay, so the first one was commit. The second one was portion control.
Yes.
And the third?
Third one is that you understand that it's a lifelong change. It's behavioral modification. You have to modify my behavior and how I look at food and how I present my food and how I eat my food. When I eat my food, the portions I eat, all of that has to come into my mind. And it makes sense. My weight loss system is so easy. Check this out. It will help anybody if they commit to it. Listen, in my culture, when I grew up, my father used to say, this is what my dad used to say. He said, if you don't eat, you don't stay here. And I realized that in my mind. And if you don't eat, you don't stay here, meaning that you have to support your body. You have to give it nutrients. You have to give it what it needs. Mm-hmm. But guess what? In the system that I'm talking about, know how we want to put our plates together, meaning that I know how much rice I want. I know how much vegetable I want. And if somebody in my culture comes up with a plate that's not looking right, I'm going to say, hey, give me a little bit more of that. But we have to realize that in doing that, we're doing harm over time. So what I say is eat one half.
Eat one half.
Eat one half. That's what the book's called. It's called Eat One Half, Make Weight Loss Easy by Omar Bey. Now, check this out. All you have to do is anything that's on your plate,
yes,
that's high calorie, meaning that it has a lot of carbohydrates in it, it has a lot of sugar in it, anything, cut it in half. Whatever portion that you usually give yourself, cut that in half.
Okay.
Anything that's on your plate that's low calorie, vegetables, salad, excuse me.
For how long?
I'm sorry?
Like cut it in half. Is there a thing in your book that says how long you'll be cutting it in half? Because when you get to a certain level, you might have to cut that half in half.
Right. What you do is you monitor how your weight loss is happening.
Okay.
If you see that you're losing at least 1 pound a week, that's good health weight. Good health weight loss. That's good weight loss. Okay. 2 pounds a week, I'll allow that. More than that, you can get, it really can be unhealthy weight loss. Okay. Because understand, we didn't gain the weight overnight. We need not lose the weight overnight. And when you lose it at a steady rate, it's more likely after you've lost the weight, you're going to maintain that weight loss.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So that cut it in half concept. So if you're drinking juice, cut it in half water, half juice.
Okay.
If you're if you have a sandwich for lunch, then make it an open face sandwich. Take the top of the bread off and only take the inner portion of the sandwich and the one slice of bread instead of 2 slices of bread. Okay. I mean, the concept is good no matter what you do and where you are. Okay. There's another component to the weight loss system that's very important, and that is salad. Now, there are cultures that don't eat a lot of salad, and I know, but we can substitute that with vegetables. But let me just talk about salad for a minute. Okay. Salad is 90. The lettuce and like kale and things like that's in salad or just the lettuce. It's 93% water. Okay. And then there's minerals and all kinds of good stuff in there for you. So if you make a salad, a nice large salad before your major meal of the day. Mm-hmm. If it's supper, then you make a salad before that. You add 90% of your salad is lettuce. Okay. 10% is tomato or cucumber or broccoli or whatever you want to put. Yeah. And then you add a low calorie salad dressing. Now understand, when you eat a salad, where the calories come in is the salad dressing. Okay. So you want to make sure it's 2 tablespoons of salad dressing, right? A low cal, and oil and vinegar would be the best. That would be the best. And when you eat that, you're already half full before you eat your dinner. Then you've had your 1/2 concept in your dinner where you've cut your carbs and your sweets in half, and you've increased your vegetables. If you do this every night, guess what? You've cut your calories in half. You're going to lose weight automatically. It's going to happen because the way we gain weight is that we don't utilize all of the calories that we took in that day. So guess what? Those extra calories got shoved into our little fat cells and they just started ballooning up, and over time they get nice and juicy and fat. And that's why we have extra fat, is because we didn't burn the calories up during the day, and you generate the fat. So this is the concept. That's one of the, that's just a few of the concepts in the book.
Yes. Where do we find the book?
Say that again?
Where do we find the book?
Oh, the book. You can go to my website and get the book. My website is OB Healthy. Okay. OBHealthy.com. Okay. And you can get the book from the website. Or you can email us at info@obhealthy.com.
Okay.
That's info@obhealthy.com, and we will get a copy out to you. Yes, definitely. Oh. And the way, see, our website is a weight loss it's a weight loss network, and we do meal plans, recipes, we do all of that there. We do inspirational messages, we do blogging, we have exercise videos, we have educational videos, all geared towards people of color. Because I truly believe, and I truly believe this, that most of the weight loss plans out there are not geared for us, and we weren't in the thinking when they were developed. It's like a trickle down. But we have to develop something that we can attach to, that we can feel within our heart and our culture. Yes, I can grab that. I can attach to that. I can do that. And that's what we're trying to put together.
Okay, so all this, viewers, if you have any questions, please send them in. So all this just ties into the fact that the silver bullet towards keeping healthy is choosing what you eat, healthy nutrition and a great diet, and staying within a healthy weight limit, right?
Yeah, I didn't hear the last 3 words. I'm sorry.
Staying within a healthy weight bracket.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
So this is very important. So I hope that our viewers are listening, and all our chefs that are taking part in the competition are listening, that the biggest part of our diet should be our vegetables and our salads. We have what we call African salad. So if we can start our foods, like a dinners, our lunches and all, if we can start with the African salad, which is mainly vegetables and mainly, like the doctor said, 90% water, we would do well, because by the time we get to the main dish, we're kind of full. So we'll have to cut our food's consumption in half. We have a question? Yes.
Askia wants to know who's winning inside of the superstar match.
Whoever is winning will depend on you viewers watching. Which chef do you want to see? Which celebrity do you want to see at the grand finale? So those are the people that will compete in the grand finale, and then you get to choose your winners. But most important now is the journey. What are we learning as we are traveling towards the grand finale? So I hope everybody is paying attention to these 3 things that Dr. Omar Bey has outlined as the steps to weight loss. 1, commit to the program. 2, portion control, and 3, understand that it is a lifelong decision. Okay, so you cannot just rush through it. Another question for the doctor?
Not a question, but Zele really enjoys what the doctor is saying, and she thinks that he makes a lot of sense.
He makes a lot of sense. So go to his website, because he has a lot of things to offer on his website. A meal plan, right? A plan that can be targeted to you, to your body type, and what you really need, the foods that you can eat. And I have to confess that I got a lot of ideas for healthy nutrition from his website, and I shared it with our chefs. So we are onto a good thing with Dr. Bey, and I'm looking forward to having him feature more and more on this program. I must let you know that Dr. Bey has a television program in the New Jersey area. So if you are out there, be sure to tune in and watch Dr. Bey spread the knowledge. Coming back to you, doctor, please let's talk a little bit about the effect of high blood pressure on our kidneys, and how we can prevent that with food. And then let's talk from there about diabetes. Now, a lot of African men, right, when they get to a certain age, they cannot see their feet because of the stomach. That means that the belly is way out to the front. There's a lot of truncal obesity going on. And in most of the people who have truncal obesity, we notice severe high blood pressure. We notice beginnings of kidney damage, and we notice heart disease. So let us talk about this, killer diseases that can be easily controlled and even reversed with the diet we choose to eat. So over to you, Dr. Bey, please.
All right. So the thing of it is that, and you're so right. When we look at these problems such as hypertension as well as diabetes, it's directly associated with weight most of the time, not all of the time, because sometimes it can just be genetic. You can be thin and, develop diabetes, and you can be thin and have high blood pressure. So there is a genetic component. But for the most part, type 2 diabetes and generalized hypertension is associated with weight. Now, understand, just like I was talking about when you bought yourself a new car and you stepped on the gas and you ran it 100 miles an hour, that car breaks down. The parts of that car will break down just like the parts of our body will break down. Now, blood pressure. Let's talk about blood pressure just for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Normal blood pressure, when you're absolutely normal, you try to be about 120 over 80, meaning that the top number, the systolic, is which we call it, is 120, and the bottom number, which is 80, that is in a normal range, right?
Yes.
Now, when you go above that, going towards 130, 140, you're getting closer to being out of range, really out of range. Anything on the top number that's above 140, you're definitely classified as hypertension or high blood pressure. Anything in the lower number that's above 90 or 95, you're definitely classified as having high blood pressure. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about the pressure that's within your blood vessels. And that pressure is generated throughout your body. And over time, there is harm done to the organs of the body that are important to you. Number one, the heart. Alrighty, it's under a lot of pressure. Your kidneys, which are very important to you, are under a lot of pressure as well. So over time, and then those blood vessels, what happens also is that if you're overeating, you get cholesterol stuck, and the cholesterol or plaque stuck in very vital organs around vessels. The vessels that supply the blood to the heart and the vessels that supply the blood to the brain. So there's an increased chance of heart attack and there's an increased chance of strokes, which is very, very important.
Okay, hold on 1 second, doctor. Okay. 1 second, please. 1 second. Yes, the question.
Okay, Jen wants to know if everyone back home should be getting tested for diabetes because of their diets.
Doctor, as an aside, I don't mean to cut you.
No, that's okay. Jump in anytime. I tend to get going, and so you just stop me when you need to stop me. That's okay.
So there's a question now. Do you think that it's a good idea for everybody in Africa, as part of their health checks? Do you think it's a good idea for them to be tested for diabetes, considering the diet?
Yeah, definitely. I feel that especially if you're overweight, you should be tested. But I think each and every one of us, if you have the means to do it or can possibly do it, should be evaluated by your doctor at least once or twice, at least once a year. At least if it's possible. Okay. Now, in that evaluation, we should do a finger stick, or if that's possible, or a blood test. Now, there's a blood test called hemoglobin A1C. Yes. Hemoglobin A1C, and what that does, that gives you a 3-month of that kind of evaluation of how your blood sugars have been doing over the 3 months. Yes. And if that is below 5 points, like it's like 5.8, then you're fine. Yes. If it's above 6 and getting up towards 7, then you know that your blood sugars are out of whack. And there's a good chance that if you're not a diabetic, you're pre-diabetic. Yes. Understand that pre-diabetes can be reversed with exercise and weight loss. Okay. Let me say that again. Pre-diabetes can be reversed with exercise and weight loss. Okay. And in the United States, there are so many pre-diabetics. I mean, goodness, I think it's like...
All right. Thank you, doctor. Second question, please.
Zella wants to know if she can eat anything as long as she practices portion control. Anything at all.
But the doctor said vegetables. Doctor, there's a question. Can she eat anything she wants as long as she practices portion?
I'll put it this way: there are certain things that we can't eat. Now, if you truly want to lose weight, sometimes I cannot compete with the fast food restaurants. I can't. I just can't.
The fries are too good.
If you're going out to fast food restaurants every night, I can't compete with that. Portion control is very, very important, but there are some things that you should just try to stay away from, like soda.
Yeah.
Soda.
Soda.
If you can possibly stay away from soda, believe me, my secretary in my office, she wanted to lose weight, and she's not really overweight, but she said, I want to lose some more pounds, and I've been eating right, and I'm kind of stuck. And I said, what do you like? She's like, I like my soda. Drinking several a day. She cut back on the sodas, and guess what? In 2 months, she lost 8 pounds. It just came off. Only cutting back on the sodas.
All right,
So
next question.
there are certain things that you should really cut back on, but for most part, if the portions and choices are appropriate, you can eat pretty much what you want. Just watch the portions.
Thank you, doctor. Next question.
Mr. Long John says that he wants you to give examples with relatable meals.
Relatable.
Because he's back home. He wants.
Oh my goodness. You know, and that's one of my shortcomings. Which I was asked before, do I know the Nigerian diet? And I really don't. I know that there are a lot of
green vegetables, yes.
like a lot of carbohydrates from what I understand.
There are.
If you could just cut the carbohydrates back,
yes.
That's one thing. Because understand, as we get older, and you were talking about the midriff and the men having the larger bellies.
Yes.
What happens is, as we get older, all right, where the fat cells grab the extra calories, the proportion is different. So as we get older, it comes more into our midriff. You know, it's called the metabolic syndrome.
Yes.
You know, we gain weight in that midriff area. So what we're eating more calories than we are burning, and over time, the fat is settling right there. You know, so the thing that we can do is we increase our exercise, because we haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
That is very, very important, to increase exercise. And it doesn't mean that you have to go to the gym every day. I'm just talking about getting up every morning and walking for maybe a half an hour. You know, do a nice brisk walk. And the greatest thing about that is that if you do it on a daily basis, if you do it every day, then guess what? That you increase the amount of calories that you burn, you increase the rate of calories that you burn, and that rate stays with you as the day goes on, because you do that walk every day.
Okay, so doctor, we are having like a celebrity cooking competition to bring awareness to the healthy foods, relatable foods that people back home can eat. So we have 24 chefs and 12 celebrities cooking up a storm, teaching the community.
That sounds great. I love it. I trust I was there. I want to be there.
So come over. Get a ticket and come over. It's on the 6th of December at the Grand Atrium. We have quite a few people coming from America to Nigeria, a few nurses to join in this competition. So what they want to point out is that to consider less calories, you use very little of the starchy foods. You know, like you said, portion control with the starchy foods is critical. But we do have a vast array of vegetable soups which people can capitalize on and use for their nutritional benefits. We also have a large array of seafoods, you know. And then the new thing that's coming up in Nigeria is the vegan industry. We do have a vegan chef who has made a whole line of foods, from African foods, from relatable foods.
Oh, great.
And she has substituted a lot of things that can go in place of meat, in place of poultry, in place of fish, you know. She has designed these foods from natural things, natural products, and is going to make a whole line of foods available to the community come next year, and I'm so stoked by that. So we do have vegetables, we do have healing foods, we have a lot of beverages that, you know, are suitable for the African body system. That people, I will encourage the community now to get their tickets and get front row seats to this event. There's so much to learn. So I'm really looking forward to December, and it will be nice to have you, Dr. Omar, with us in Nigeria. So whenever you're ready, hit me. I'll fix it. I'll arrange it for you. Now you were talking about walking.
Yes.
Dr. Nelson Aluya, I'm sure you know, is a mutual friend of ours.
It's a great friend of mine as well.
Yes. He said something about the African muscle mass being made different than the other cultures. He said that muscles don't really produce nitrous oxide or something like that, which helps our vessels relax. The only thing that helps our vessels or our bodies produce, or our muscles produce this, is walking. So the importance of walking to the African and to the African American cannot be overemphasized. It is important to get up and walk. It's important to move. And it's important to get as much exercise going as you possibly can. So this will go a long way to help our health status. Now, before we took the questions, you were talking about fat deposits in the vessels like plaque, and you were talking about maybe getting deposited in the vessels of the brain. Can we continue, because we're exploring the effects of excess fat deposit in the system when we do not control our caloric intake, and it gets turned into fat and gets stored in our bodies. So if you can continue with that train of thought, we would appreciate.
Right. Well, there's a many studies that have come about with cholesterol, and I'm pretty sure most people have heard about the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol and things like that.
Yes.
Well, that's very important, because where we're going as far as the strokes and heart attacks is that that cholesterol gets stuck in the vessels.
Yes.
And so let's step back. What is a stroke or a heart attack? So a heart attack is basically an area of the heart that did not get appropriate oxygen.
Yes.
Now, the oxygen is carried through these blood vessels to the heart muscle. So if this clot closes off that vessel, and that anything that's distal to that clot is not getting blood and it's not getting oxygen, guess what? That part of the heart almost dies, and parts of the heart can die and become dysfunctional simply because that it did not get appropriate oxygen for a time.
Yeah.
The same thing with a stroke. A stroke is when that blood vessel does not supply oxygen to a part of the brain. That's why after a stroke you can have weakness in an arm, or you can't use your leg, or you can't speak, because that area of the brain was damaged so badly that now that it's not able to control that portion of the body. So that's basically what we're talking about. To decrease the chance of these occurring, what we need to do is keep our weight under control, keep our blood pressure under control, and make sure that we're eating appropriately, that we're not increasing that bad cholesterol and trying to increase the good cholesterol so we don't build these clots in our blood vessels.
Great. So, weight loss, weight management, to control truncal obesity and to prevent traveling plaques of fat deposits in our system is a good thing to consider as part of your keep healthy schedule. Now, let's talk about diabetes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Diabetes. That's an interesting one, because diabetes is diabetes for in all parts of the world is becoming rampant. Yes. And it truly is, because I truly feel that most of it is type 2 diabetes, and type 2 diabetes is secondary to most of the time weight. Alrighty. Yes. Now, type 1 diabetes is one that is, there are a lot of people that are born with type 1 diabetes, and that's because for some reason, the pancreas does not produce insulin. And I have my niece is like that. She was born diabetic, and there's no one else in the family diabetic. It just happened to her. Type 2 diabetes is a type of diabetes that comes about because of your lifestyle most of the time, and that you're overweight. And the fact is that your pancreas does produce insulin, but we call that insulin resistant. Meaning that because of your size and because you have so many fat cells, that even though your pancreas is secreting the insulin, it's not effective to decrease the blood sugar. Okay. So let's step back just for a second. This is an educational, little bit of education here. So what does insulin do? Insulin actually allows what it does is it decreases the blood sugar, meaning that the glucose or dextrose in your blood, once you eat a meal, it goes way up because you just ate this large amount of sugar.
Yes.
Now, what insulin does is keeps that blood sugar from going sky high. It keeps it in a nice, even range. Well, if you're obese, what happens is, even though your pancreas has secreted insulin, there's so much fat cells and so much glucose and sugar running around that it doesn't decrease the sugar appropriately.
Yes.
And that means that over time you're going to get fat. Now, this is the kicker. Insulin does two things. It decreases your blood sugar, but also it drives that extra calories that you don't use into the fat cells. How do you like that?
Oh.
How do you like that? So it will decrease your sugar, but guess what? If it doesn't decrease the sugar appropriately and get rid of that high sugar and keep it in a normal range, then what happens is over time it's driving that extra calories and everything that you're not utilizing into those fat cells, and you're just getting fatter and fatter and fatter. So it's like a domino effect. Once the domino starts falling, and you know what I mean, it just goes on and on and on until you correct it, until you turn it around, decrease the calories, so that you're utilizing all those calories that you're eating each day, and there are no calories to be shoved into the fat cells at the end of the day.
Wow. Okay. All right. Managing diabetes starts with your diet.
Right.
Okay.
As I said, pre-diabetes is rampant.
Yes.
I mean, there are millions and millions of pre-diabetics just in the United States as well. We're not even talking about other countries. So, and the greatest thing about pre-diabetes is that if you have it and you come up to, if your hemoglobin A1C shows that you're out of whack and you're in pre-diabetes, guess what? Weight loss and exercise can cure pre-diabetes. We've proven that.
Yes.
But the thing of it is, diabetes is one of those diseases it has so many effects on the body. What does it do? Okay, so listen to what diabetes is. Diabetes, it's a high blood sugar in the blood vessels, but over time, what it does is it actually affects the small nerves and the small blood vessels, inhibiting them from functioning appropriately. So that's why you get the secondary effects. So what are the secondary effects? The small blood vessels of the kidney don't work well. So guess what? Dialysis.
Yes.
The small blood vessels in the eye don't work. That's diabetic retinopathy. The eye, you lose your vision. The small blood vessels in the brain, that can lead to strokes. The small blood vessels in the heart can lead to heart attacks. The nerves don't work appropriately, so you have people with what we call neuropathy, and people cannot feel their feet, but they have no feeling, but guess what? They have pain in their feet, but they don't feel like if you touch them, they won't know that you're touching them.
They can hurt themselves and don't know.
Right. There's no feeling. So they can bump their feet and cut their toes or something like that and not even know it's bleeding because they have no feeling. And the blood vessels down there don't work appropriately either. And that's why you have so many people that get amputation of their toes and their feet and stuff like that from diabetes, because the blood vessels and the nerves stop working because of the long-term influence of that high sugar and glucose on the nerves and stuff over time.
Wow. Dr. Bey, we have to do this again because diabetes is so vast and it's so rampant in African communities. And we have to sit down and find a way to take care of ourselves if we have this condition. We have to have a meal plan that will help us manage this condition, because if we wait to the point of having to have amputations of our fingers or our toes or going blind, we are on a short time. We don't have a long time more on earth. So it is better that we take time out and really learn to manage ourselves when we have this condition, of course, on top of your doctor's orders. So please, Dr. Bey, give us your website once again, and I'll put it up there for the viewers so we can direct them to where they can get adequate information on nutritional foods and health plan and weight loss programs. Please go ahead, please.
My website is obhealthy, obhealthy.com, and our email is info@obhealthy.com. Now, understand, we're on social media too, so oh my goodness, we're doing so much in the community here. Our social media is obhealthy, And you can come on to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are in LinkedIn. We're all over the place. Just come on, connect with us. And listen, come to the website. Join the OB family, OB Healthy family. I mean, what we've done, I have all types of I should call them our exercise videos. We have our health videos on there. And what I do is I bring doctors in and I interview them in their specialty. So if it's diabetes or hypertension or heart disease or lung disease, I interview them and I keep it. All my questions and all my answers are at a patient level. So it's education that is geared towards people of color, because I truly believe we need to connect to something that we can connect to, that we feel that's part of us. So come to the website, obhealthy.com. We love to have you, and it's just something that we've put out there. We've made it affordable. We're trying to just do the best for our people across the world, and because somebody has to step up and help us. Yes. And that's what we need. We need all countries to come together, all people of color to come together, because it's really rampant out there, and we need to reverse this. Because hey, listen, everybody wants to live long. Yes. I want to look good, be good, doing good, but I don't want to be that person that is 65 years old and in a nursing home and I live to 85. I don't want to be that person. Yes. I want to be able to be 85, enjoying my grandchildren, you know what I mean, having a good time with my family, taking vacations, whatever I love to do, I want to be able to do that. And the only way I can do the best, the best possibility of that to happen is for me to be healthy. And then it comes down to, you are what you eat.
Absolutely.
Let's eat to live, not live to eat.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Bey. We'll bring you back to talk about diabetes and the foods. And between now and then, we'll be exploring your websites and your meal plan and your weight loss program. I thank you so very much. And our viewers will have a lot of questions in the comment box, and we'll go through them later on. And Dr. Bey will do us the favor of answering your questions. So please send them in. Thank you so very much, Dr. Bey.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate this. Thank you very much. And look forward to talking with you soon.
Yes, I can't wait. Thank you. Okay. Yes. So, viewers, you heard that. Now, somebody asked about relatable foods. Please join us on Superstars in Lagos, Nigeria, come the 6th of December. Our chefs have a whole line of nutritious food choices that you could learn to incorporate in your meal plans to keep yourselves healthy. Keep yourselves diabetes free, hypertension free, and of course free of all the secondary diseases that happen because of this. I'm hoping you'll be able to get me the chef from Akwa Ibom to try and speak to her and see what she has to offer us. But while we wait for the chef, I encourage you to go to cocobar.com and get your tickets, okay? Front row tickets to our event. Our event is Superstars. It's a celebrity cooking competition, and you can see all our celebrities there. Everybody is stoked and ready, and we have promo interviews out and about. So go on Plus TV Africa. They're hosting our celebrities, talking to them, hosting our chefs, talking to our chefs, and also sunnyirabolife.com is interviewing some of the people who are behind some of the food industries and some of the big sponsors who are pushing this program out, okay? So make it a date on those programs. Listen to Inspiration 92.3 Radio, because our chefs are also on there talking and teaching the community about our various health plans. It was a pleasure having you with us today, and I look forward to talking with you again. If I can gather our celebrities from the different parts of the world they are at, I will gather them and we will talk to you. If I can get the chefs together, we'll get them together and they will speak to you. It is a pleasure to always have you from all over the world. Join us on Saturday Online Clinic. Till next week, I will have to say good night, God bless, and thank you for joining us.